Oh yeah, baby. Total War Warhammer 3 came out. In the game, there's all the demon factions of the 4 major Chaos Gods, along with Chaos Undivided, the Grand Cathay, Kislev, and the Ogre Kingdoms. Games now suffer with a horrible thing called being underbaked when being put out. This is partially because of the big scary virus, but also because of how video game companies treat their developers. With 40 hours on the game and a campaign completion under my belt, I think I can tell you if it's undercooked or not, and if I recommend it. I'll also tell you how I think the Nurgle faction is and how I played the campaign. First of all, if you like Warhammer, if you like Warhammer Total War, you're pretty much going to like this game. It doesn't have what Warhammer 2 currently has in it, which is the Mortal Empires DLC, which adds the first game as an expansion, but it has been announced that it is going to come out eventually. But the game is buggy. I crashed multiple times, there's a lot of pathing issues with certain units, and sometimes characters just forget where they're going. I'm looking at you, Scarbrand. Dude probably forgets where he's going because he got slapped on the head by Khorne himself. Plus, he doesn't have half a face. But the factions you can choose are very well realized. You understand how a Chaos God works by playing its army. The Ogres are very greedy and very economic, but also have a lot of meat that they can eat to make it so they work better. And Nurgle has a lot of ideas with cyclical natures and his gardens. But because of his character gimmicks and spreading plagues that aren't really that good, he is seen as one of the worst factions. But here's a little secret, I love him. So much. The gameplay fantasy of playing Nurgle is fully realized, with a really cool Great Unclean one called Kugath Plaguefather. Kugath is a wizard artillery unit with good health and good melee combat. His only issue is that he's slow. That is the main issue with most of Nurgle's units. They're largely a defensive army that wait for the enemy to come to them. If you don't have Kugath or another sort of artillery unit on your side, you suffer a lot from having to run at the enemy. I mean, city battles are so easy for Nurgle. I literally won against a almost fully stacked army with a bunch of units of Nurglings in a mosh pit. And once that mosh pit is developed enough to have a lot of your units in it, there's no way you're losing. A lot of your units have poisoning attacks that make it so the units they're fighting against don't do as much damage. This made it amazing to just crap stack a bunch of Nurglings with your leader that has spells that can heal the Nurglings. Nurgle's my favorite faction in the game, hands down. Although you do suffer a lot from the stagnation of having to just defend your stuff from a bunch of Kislev and trolls, if you play it right, you can stay cozy in your little area while you get the Chaos God souls to go into the Forge of Souls to get Ursun's body. I forgot to mention, the entire campaign's based around a giant ice bear god dying and how everybody's trying to vie for its power, including a spooky shadow demon that wants to ascend to godhood, that's defending his body. Starting at round 40 and after, Ursun the God Bear roars. This honestly turns the game into Diablo for a little bit, with each Chaos Realm being its own little dungeon that you have to crawl through to get to the final boss, with cute little gimmicks to them that show how each Chaos God's personality affects its realm. But I don't like the last little attack-defense battles. When I first saw them, I thought they were very cool, but after you do it 5 times at the end of your campaign, you're done with it. I think it's really weird how they showed the personality of every Chaos God and then didn't do anything with their final battle. I mean, the siege battle works for Khorne, but I don't think it works for many other characters. Like, give me one that's like Be'lakor, but it's just one boss that you have to fight for like 30 minutes. I would recommend Total War Warhammer 3. Just make sure you know what you're getting into before you buy it. And if you're on the fence about it, wait a few months so all the bugs are patched and so the Mortal Empires DLC is out. But I gotta go back to playing Elden Ring. That's my new addiction.